Hey there, Chris Carr here. I'm playing around with React and Tailwindcss and Node, and I'm making a Potluck app. Just early stages. It doesn't hook to a database yet. There's some initial hard-coded data here and some stuff that's not dynamic yet. Some of the things I've converted to use state, and I'll just go over the features it has now. So it has some different lists of things you're bringing to get together and bake some cupcakes. Is what we chose here. So if you want to add a new person, let's say Jim. There's Jim in the list down here and here. And there's a list of ingredients. If someone's bringing it already, it's crossed out. And a list of jobs. And these are not interactive yet, but supplies is. So let's say we want someone to bring a microwave. So we'll add those supplies. It's added to the list here, but no one's bringing it yet. Let's say that Jim is going to bring the microwave, and Jasper is going to bring these the liners for the cupcakes. So the idea is to flesh this out with some more details and features, to be able to have and plan a potluck. So send people URL. It'll be like multi-event. Be able to link with people's emails if you need to reach out, and upload pictures. And another idea is ingredients list for people who have allergens, and perhaps you could list that on yourself as well. You could say, I don't eat tomatoes or whatever. Okay, let's take a look at the code here. So I'm using React. I'm using the Next framework for this, and I set it up as TypeScript, but I haven't got into that part yet. So here's some starting data. The plan is to get this from a database eventually. The plan is going to be using probably Mongo and NoSQL database just to have some JSON I get out. So in here there's some handlers. We're creating our own elements, and it's using use state with these because it needs to pass them down and handle them and retain the information up here at the top. Let's say who gets invited. It's important for both showing the people and at the bottom who's bringing what. So it needs to be at this level, but it gets passed down to children as parameters. Here's the main body. Just experimenting with Tailwind here. So border with a drop shadow. Tailwind's like it's a bunch of CSS classes that is like shortcuts for commonly used CSS stuff. So it's a bunch of different little wrappers. So here we have a hover event, and it changes the background to blue on people here. So when we hover, you see that it's interactive. And then our on click handler here sets this visible property to show and hide, and I only want one showing at a time, but I also want to be able to hide them if I want to. And so name and date and time here are all variables, and the plan is to have those in Mongo and come in here and be editable eventually. So there's different, these are the different main sections, and these are the different components. I think now that I've fleshed this out a bit, I think I'm going to reuse these and have sort of generic sections, so I can suggest you have ingredients or jobs or supplies, but really it's just lists of things that people are going to assign to themselves and cross off when they're going to handle it. So they all look pretty much the same. The one that has more information and working stuff is supplies here. So it has a lot of properties passed in. The list of supplies, yes. Who's bringing what? So we know what to cross out and what to leave. Visible is, again, sort of the hide show section there. Set supplies. So that's for here for adding supplies. So if you need some bowls and you click add supplies, it's gonna add to that list. Now this invited list is for this drop down here, so you can assign who's bringing what, and set bringing supplies is what gets called when this gets selected. So that's it. And then so here it does retain a state with this text field, and so here we are mapping out the supplies to display them. We're figuring out which ones are still needed based on this person supplies list. So this is update who's bringing what, and this is choosing to show the select or not. So if it's still needed, we need to show that select drop down with a list of names in it. And here we are defining I think they call it an anonymous function, so it'll run later and it'll call this with these variables, because you can't call a function in here to run. It'll run as soon as it's rendered instead of when the action happens. So when the handle choice is called, which is I believe when the button gets clicked here. So add supplies button. And here we are returning it. So we have all the little pieces we've built together, and optional class. So class is going to be hidden or block based on the visible variable. So this is who's bringing what. These are these items down at the bottom with all the names and what they're bringing in a list. I've color coded it for now, but I think I'm going to add some icons. So you can say like this one looks like a spoon, and that one could look like a person in a hat. I don't know. Yeah, and that's it. It's not much yet, but I'm going to keep building it, and I'm going to keep learning. Thank you.